Okay, it's time. Here we are. I'm gonna turn down the volume a bit for myself. Yeah, here we are. We are live streaming. It's been a while for me. Oh. But yeah. Yeah, I've got my face cam. Yeah, I can see it. We're on time. We have some people in the chat. Hello, Iben. Good to see you. Glad you could make it. So why don't we get started? So, oh, I have the wrong document open. So welcome to the Beekse Bergen Safari Park, the Beekse Bergen. And let's get started by taking this man over here, and you are now our Tedget Cam. And why game? Off to a great start. Okay, let's try that again. User. Oh, you're already Tedget Cam. That's fantastic. Why? No, not again. Come on. Hello, Kaizo. Good to see you. Alright, I should have prepped the Tedget Cam beforehand, it seems. Because this is already a problem. Okay, let's try it one more time. There we go. Okay. Now we can get back to the entrance. And back into playing. So, welcome to Safari Park de Beekse Bergen. If you don't know, this is a zoo in the Netherlands in Hilvarenbeek, which is near Tilburg, a bit bigger of a city. And the zoo first opened in 1968 as Lion Park Beekse Bergen. And yeah, they started off with just lions on a large space, but have since then expanded greatly. And the most kind of innovative thing about the zoo was that people were able to drive around in. Just look down when you do that. Oh. Hello, Peter Leiter. Alright. Yeah, so the big thing about the zoo was that people were able to drive around in their own cars and view the animals from there, which drew many customers, and since then they've greatly expanded, almost doubled the size of the zoo since they started 50 years ago. And of course many new animals have been added. So, let's get started with the tour. So over here we are at the entrance, and I should be able to pull up this over here. Yes, there we go. And let's get started with what is actually in front of the entrance over here, because over here I have all my junk. There's a bunch of blueprints, things that I've made, but also things from the workshop, because I do occasionally use some items from the workshop, because why bother making something if someone else has already done it better? And if you want, in the description of each of my videos, or the latest videos, should be a link to a Google Drive document where I'm keeping a list of all the workshop items I've used. So, and there's also a link to my workshop page, so anything I've shared should be in there. And if there's anything you see in the zoo today that you would like me to put in the workshop, then feel free to ask, and I can see if I can blueprint it for you. But over here we have what these pictures were showing. We have a bunch of trash cans, and this is something that my girlfriend gave me a lot of slack for. Like, why did you make the trash cans? These things are all over the park. I have to look right? So we have three different kinds basically. We have these kind of roundish ones. These ones with kind of an ingoing shape, and then these slimmer ones. And these are actually the same as these, but then a different color. So that's what I built. And these are kind of all over the park. But let's not look at trash for too long. Let's actually get to the main event, the zoo itself. So we can see, and let's actually get into full screen. Over here we have the real life entrance, with the big elephant statue, all these little huts, and in the background you also see the Barabao building. And yeah, we've got this little piece of cloth, we've got the guest services over there. I'm sure a next picture will show this a bit better. Yeah, we got this little patch of grass. Over here is the road next to the parking lot. Over here there's some toilets, which there's actually toilets in here, but people don't really tend to use these because they're outside of the park. So they think they have to enter the park before they can use the toilets, which is a bit ridiculous, but let's move on. Yeah, we got the guest services building. So I've got the same sign and the kind of glass wall. I'm missing the lion there. I might actually try to make that at some point. So I'm going to... oh crap, the one thing I didn't prepare. Oh wait, I have a piece of paper over here. Because while we're doing this tour, I'm kind of going to be writing down some stuff that are missing. Service center lion. Because of course there's a lot of stuff missing, because the zoo isn't nowhere close to being finished. But there's some stuff that I may have missed, and that's the kind of stuff that I want to kind of catch today and see if we can work out. But yeah, over here we've got the other side of the entrance with this fence, the gift shop in the back, and this backstage area, which we can have a look into, because sometimes the gate's opened and I take a peek inside. So we've got the little kind of cheetah spotted building, and then all of these little huts, and of course the roof of what is the safari restaurant. And here's a different angle of it, which is more akin to this angle, where you can see the different huts. This used to be the entrance of the restaurant, but it has recently been turned into a backstage area, which is why it's no longer accessible, and they've kind of redesigned everything, but we've got it all here. We'll get... the big lion mask is too big, sadly. And you would like the entrance on the workshop? I'll try, because it's a bit big, but maybe I can put it in pieces on there, or just put the whole thing and you can rip apart whatever you want. Because, yeah, I'm having, especially with the entrance, it's a bit like, okay, what should I include? Should I just do the entrance bit? Should I include the gift shop? I'll see how much the game allows, because of course there is the 4,000 piece limit. But yeah, the lion head, lion mask African thing is a bit too big, but I can probably make something out of just wooden shapes and stuff, just like I did in the Africa village, which we'll get to. But let's go inside the service building, because that is a pretty neat area, and the picture we just saw was kind of this angle. Oh, we're on the desk. And we got this little bench with the small plants, and you can see the rest of the buildings in the distance. What's really cooler is the use of the enrichment item kind of pillar to make the pillar over here. For the ropes, yeah, that's actually, I could do that. Yeah, 5,000. It's either 5,000 or 4,000. I think it's 4,000 though. But yeah, so here we have the kind of front desk. Pretty cool. And then yeah, over here in the corner there's this little, just some junk. Looks pretty good. Thank you, Eben. Thank you. Alright, so let's continue on to the main plaza, which has seen a little bit of work. Like right before the stream, I've done some off-camera stuff. Over here we can kind of recreate this shot. So we've got the toilet building in the back, the kind of stroller station. I've put some wheelchairs in there. And over here we've got the main kind of entrance where they always check the tickets in between these barrels. And then, yeah, I've got these little birch trees and the Scottish pine. They look a lot like the trees they have here. And we even have these barrels, which are from the workshop. Gotta give credit where credit is due. Should be able to find them in my list. So, let's see. So, the little gate, we've got the sign on there. It means a whole year on safari, and it's advertising the subscription. Which, by the way, that's actually cool to tell. The zoo is actually... are you planning some standing alone habitats to place on the workshop? I would love to, though putting habitats on the workshop is a bit iffy with the terrain. I've tried way back when I made the flamingo habitat. I've tried making that putting that on the workshop, but it didn't work well because of the fences and the terrain. Hey everybody, there is no peace limit if you upload. I know, yeah, that's true. That is true. And also hello Haribo. Thank you for making it to the stream. So, yeah, let's actually take the next picture, which is the front face of the gift shop over here. The Zawadi shop, and there's some clothing outside, there's just some scenery, and, which is really cool, from the workshop as well, there's a little penny press, which I've used here. And over here, this barrel is probably gonna get replaced by the barrels that Poison Blade made in his recent Kian al-Bashar video, because recent. It was the barrel maker video, and he made some really cool barrels. So yeah, let's go to the next picture, which is kind of the main service center. And this was one of the first buildings I made, actually, and this is when the project really started to take shape for me. Like pretty soon after I made this, I started making the videos. Yeah, I did a lot of these fonts myself, actually, or I used existing fonts off the workshop. Oh, that's a shame, guys. Your laptop decided to turn off. Yeah, I made some of the fonts myself, especially the Bowo sign. I used an existing font, I'm not sure which one, and I made it a lot smaller so that it fit better in the shape, and I put the black edge around it. So yeah, I think now we are going to kind of head inside. Yeah, so over here we've got this kind of seating area, and on top you can see this little sign with the Livingstone Safari Tours, which is leading people to the boat safari. And the fun thing about this sign is it is far too big. I only had this picture at first and made the sign based on that. Turns out this sign is actually right here, and it's super tiny. But yeah, oh, I think I might actually turn off my webcam, because it doesn't really add that much, I don't think, and we can see a bit more. Let's, oh, why can I not switch? Oh, because I accidentally opened OBS for a while. Alright, let's go inside, because this is where crazy detail ensues. And what's also fun to talk about, maybe, I didn't prepare these facts for nothing, is that this entrance area, especially this main square and the gift shop building we're entering now, was built very recently, only 2 years ago, in 2018. This place was remodeled for the 50th anniversary of the zoo. So yeah. And over here we are inside, and this is a bit finicky because Tedget Cam. We can actually hold shift to kind of glide in. And I think this was the picture we were looking at. Yeah, so we've got these little shelves over here, and then a bunch of merchandise. And some of these are still empty. I still have stuff to do here. It's just so much detail that I often kind of get bored with it. But yeah, we've got all sorts of merchandise. Oh god, what I do. Okay, looking down. I'm gonna trust. Oh, how do I get out of here? Oh no. Okay, maybe I can parkour my way. Oh no, now we're even up higher. Okay, well. Let's actually not get back into Tedget Cam. Let's just show this area off without it. So, yeah, we got that side. We've got, this is the thing that's standing here in the middle, and this is about as small as I can get this stuff. Like, it's real finicky. And then we move into the next room over here, which people are kind of blocking the view here and there because there's actually 2 shops in these walls, so that people actually use this building as a shop. But and this area has been revamped a little bit. I don't know when I last showed it. This cupboard is new. I updated this thing with the new glass pieces, and now there's some food in there. And I've got this register from the workshop. These little kind of card machines are mine though. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff, but let's get back outside. Because there's a bunch of detail still missing here, but let's move on to over here. We've got these little shops. Might actually just stay out of Tangent Cam because it's a bit too finicky for me. Look down when you're typing Tangent Cam. Oh, okay, right. And over here we've got a nice shot actually of the Primate house, which looks pretty cool. I like how that turned out. I'm really happy that I like this is probably one of the areas that has gotten through the most changes, because it is one of the first things I built, so I just wasn't that good at the game when I first built it, but we redid most of it and now it looks amazing. We'll get to see some more shots of it later on, but first we're going over here. Got more of these shops. We've got here I've got some panorama shots which are pretty cool if they want to work. That's the only problem. Let's reload it. Come on, yeah, there we go. Cool. So now we can actually look around, and over here we have the Primate house. Let's turn around. And yeah, that's also one of the things that I redid recently was the patterns on the walls here, and that really makes it look so much better. We're missing the climbing structure still. I'm kind of lacking some reference photos of this habitat, so next time I'm at the zoo, which should be in a week, because they're opening again in a week for subscription holders. How many hours in it so far? Great question. Way too many. I haven't really kept track, but I feel like when I started this project, my playtime was around 400 hours, and I'm now up to 800, and I've basically only done this. Speaking of questions though, I often get the question what this grid is for over here, and I just realized that that was actually the first thing I wanted to answer. And now I froze the game by selecting it, but but this grid is actually helping me with the layout. The Primate house on the without interior, yeah, I could do that probably. But yeah, let's actually take a zoom out and we can see the entire grid. And I'll pull up the reason we have the grid, which is this little thing over here. This is a kind of stitched together Google Maps. Yeah, stitched together Google Maps screenshots, and I've put the same grid over it. So we should be able to see if we zoom in on, for example, the Primate house over here, that, of course, I've removed the grid there. Well, let's take a different example. Let's take the Rhino house. So you can see it's kind of in this little crossroads over here. So if we go to the one over here, you can see it's in the same spot. So the grid helps me put down everything in the right spot. But for now, we're going to freeze the game again probably, because I actually just want to sink the grid into the ground while we're touring, because it won't obstruct the view that way. ZooChat is also a great site for exhibits and buildings. It is, though mainly we're freezing for a long time. Did I even press the button? Am I? Oh, we're already doing it. Okay, let's just sink it down. Let it freeze again. ZooChat is great if you want to use it for inspiration, but for me, I want to have every angle of any exhibit. So just a couple of pictures. Like, I could probably make a close approximation, but I'm too perfectionistic for that, so I want to get as close as I can to the real life thing. So I just go to the zoo like every month and make like 500 pictures every time. And I keep notes of things that I'm missing pictures of, so that the next time I'm there I can take them. But yeah, let's get back into this panorama shot, and we can pan around, see this little shelter. Oh, wait, let's do it like this. There we go. We can see this little shelter for the guests, which is pretty nice. And over here we have a pretty important building, if you ask me. It is the Wildlife Foundation kind of headquarters, I guess you could say. And that's... wait, that's the only downside of the panorama photos. We have to actually exit it. Over here we've got this little donation bin, which there is actually a donation bin inside. It's one of the very few ones in the park. But a big focus for me making this park has been... Oh, really? Oh, Peter, if you could send them to me. Okay, Peter, if you could send me those via Discord or something, because then I can keep a track of it way easier. And 2 times same question, does the zoo know I'm doing this project? I've talked to some of the employees there and mentioned it, but I don't think they've really noticed me. I sometimes tag them in Twitter posts and stuff like that. And I'm planning to send them a more formal message this weekend to see if I can get more involved, and maybe they can let me backstage or stuff like that. That would be really cool. That'd probably be cool like that. I don't know. But yeah, let's look over here. We've got the Wildlife Foundation. I've got the same door opened. And what's really cool, the Stichting Wildlife, or the Wildlife Foundation, was actually founded in 1985, when the zoo was kind of really low on money. They were kind of going bankrupt, and the foundation was kind of created as a means to collect money for the zoo, so they didn't have to go, so they didn't have to close, basically. And 1 year later, the zoo was actually purchased by its current owner, Libema, and the foundation started shifting its focus to conservation and education. And it still does so today. But not just for the Beekse Bergen, it interacts with all the zoos that Libema Foundation owns. Oh, I have my light turned on. And on their website you can actually see where all their money is going. And last year they donated a total of 182,000 euros to various conservation efforts, including 27,500 to the Red Panda Network, which makes me very happy because red pandas are my favorite animal. So it's really cool. Ooh, that's really great to hear, Haribo. Yeah, if any of you don't know, Haribo is also making a recreation of a zoo, a German zoo, and it's fantastic. You really should check it out. Rudy did a tour of it recently. Rudy Rankhamel. But yeah, we've got more shots over here, and now we're going to be entering the Primate house. And what's a cool fact about the Primate houses here is that these were built in 2007, and they housed various chimpanzees that were being sheltered after experimentation on chimpanzees became illegal. So of course they needed a spot for all those chimpanzees, and they were largely sent to this zoo, which is really cool. Yeah, over here the picture kind of showed a chimp sitting over there. They don't really climb around much, this place, but I suppose that's just because, I mean, climbing is a really tricky thing. I was very lucky to catch like one of the chimps climbing a little rope bridge I made in the announcement video I made for this stream. And you can actually force the chimps in. We might do that later. You can force the chimps inside by making it rain. Oh, there is actually a gorilla in here though. Look at that. Big boy. But yeah, here is the inside, and we've got a little vending machine over there. We've got the roof, which super complex shape, but yeah, one of the main reasons I redid the roof, because this thing was a mess, but now it looks really nice. And yeah, overall we've got very similar layout, because that's the entire point, of course. And then here we have the entrance with the open doors, like that. Gotta make sure I keep drinking. Yeah, I mean the climbing structure tutorial is great, but it's great for when you're kind of making your own habitat, because you can really plan it in such a way that they make use of the climbing structures. But in here, I just want the habitat to look like it does in real life, so I can't really change much. I did try to make the ground area under the ropes non-traversable, but they would just Superman jump to the other side. It was really strange. I had the same thing with the jaguars, actually, which was a bummer. But yeah, over here we've got the Gorilla Island, which was also renovated back when they renovated the entrance. It's made a lot larger. And the gorillas share their habitat with, and I always forget their names, so let me quickly just look it up. Good thing that the zoo has an app that tells you all this stuff. Should only take 2 seconds. It is the crested mangabe, which is a little tiny monkey that the gorillas. It's really cute actually. The gorillas share their habitat with such a tiny thing. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep the capuchin monkeys here. See, I mostly meant the sinking building pieces into each other. I'm not sure what you mean by that. But yeah, I'm not sure if I'm going to keep the capuchin monkeys here, because I feel like there's other animals that they are more suited to replace. Because that's actually a question I also gotten quite frequently. Is what am I planning to do with animals? Let me actually play so you have something to look at while I talk. What are you planning to do with animals that aren't in the game? And, well, the answer is quite simple. I'm replacing them with different animals, but I could give you some examples, because I actually have a list. And there's already some examples in the zoo. Right now, for example, the Persian leopard firstly was replaced with a Bengal tiger, and then now the jaguar. The baboons I've replaced with mandrills, meerkats I've replaced with aardvarks, the white rhinos with the Indian rhinos, and I've replaced dik-diks with pronghorn. And like any bird I've replaced with like flamingos and and peafowl. The upcoming, there's still a bunch of animals upcoming and that I need replacements for, and the main ones I already have ideas for are the red river hawk, which is easy, it's just a warthog. Pelicans will be flamingos as well. Sloth bears, black bears, sitatungas can be either bongos or nyalas. Peter David deer can be reindeers. Yaks can be bison. And kind of the most creative one I think is that I want to use, for the sea lions, I'm planning to use the pygmy hippo, though I really hope we get sea lions at some point. I know there's a white rhino mod, but it's only for the males. And I'm not sure if I want to use mods too much. I'm trying to refrain from them, though there is like, I'm pretty sure there's actually a white rough lemur mod as well, which is very tempting. But yeah, I don't know. Okay, let's see. Let's actually get the pictures again. Because we have a different shot over here of all these climbing things, which... which of course we have. Oh no, I broke it. No, okay, no, we're still going. Yeah, so we've got all the climbing structures. I really gotta fix this so that I can easily alt tab. Oh, and we almost missed this shot over here, which is kind of this. Ooh. There's a red river hog on the. Oh crap! I really gotta check these out. Well, we'll get. I mean, I haven't built a habitat for that one yet, so. But yeah, over here we've got that shot of the elevation over here. Because up here is actually the safari restaurant, which was also one of the first things I built, but has seen a lot of changes, especially recently, because I didn't have many pictures of this place. Over here we've got that shot. I didn't have many pictures of this place, so I went looking online, but I didn't know that this place had been kind of remodeled along with the entrance. You would also like the climbing structures on the workshop. Okay, I'll look into that. But yeah, I didn't know that this place was also remodeled along with the entrance. So all the reference pictures I found was the old restaurant. So yeah, I had to remake most of it to look like it is actually looking right now. Over here we've got the little facade with all the planks. It's pretty cool. Over here you've got these birds. So I've tried to recreate over here just these patterns. Haven't done the inside yet, still not sure what we're gonna do with that. Do have this place. And we should be getting a look into that backstage area again from over here. There we go. I think I prefer this shot over here. I really like this one. So you can really see like all the patio heaters and all those trash bins. I just took a peek over the fence. We've got all that same stuff. Right, let's try to make some speed and get past some things. I'm not sure what the next picture would be. Yeah, it's over here. There's a little viewing area. They do feeding shows here from time to time. And let's move on to the next one, which is the mining area. Never really sure what their intention was with this. It needs some more foliage. I should actually write that down. Yeah, I've actually got an ATM in here, which causes people to go get money there every now and then. Although that's actually more interaction than this thing gets in real life. I mean, most of the foliage here is probably going to come when we make the habitat over here, because there's actually I think it's a white-faced gibbon that lives there. Okay, let's move along further. Over here we've got a little, I forget what those birds are called, nest, and of course the bridge across. This bridge has caused me many troubles. Love how you made the feeding. Oh yeah, I'm really happy with all those rocks. They look really great. Right, and then we get to the lion habitat. This was actually the first habitat I built, and kind of the first thing I built, and it's still not really finished. I kind of left it, which is probably a good thing, because I've improved a lot since then, so now I can revisit it and redo a lot of the stuff. We've got this truck, which I have off the workshop, though I've kind of edited it a little. And yeah, we've got the moat, viewing area up there. I think oh, you can check the Instagram of the Beekse to get more real life names of the animals. Yeah, I'm trying to keep track. I'm also like at the zoo. There's like some signs with names, because any animal that has been kind of donated to, they've got a sign thanking the donators. So I know some of the names. It'd be nice to have just one big concise list, which is actually something I want to ask the zoo if I actually get in touch with them, because then I can just name all the animals properly and also have the right amounts, because you know it's not always easy to count exactly how many of an animal are in a habitat. But yeah, over here is something for the future. It's the boat safari, kind of getting on point. I think I put in a picture of it. Yeah, over here. That's all yet to be done. So let's go back into the zoo. And over here we have that little viewing area. And there's all this ivy growing underneath. Which is very nice. This is actually something that, yeah, the lion needs a lot of work, because over here there's a lot of foliage missing as well. There should be tons of ivy growing over these fences, and the birch tree is missing. But the habitat itself is pretty good. So yeah, now we get to... we have another view from over here of the restaurant and the gorilla habitat. And then we can get into the first kind of land bridge of the walking safari. We've got some kind of backstage views of the Primate house. It's a lot more covered up because of how huge the foliage is. Are the tusks recolorable? Sadly no. So I might... I plan on replacing them at some point. Maybe bamboo gives me a nice new way of doing it, or I can just make them out of wood or something. But yeah, the tusks are something I made like right at the start as well. Just haven't bothered changing them yet, because kind of my standards have changed throughout the project quite a lot. I became way more perfectionistic throughout. So yeah, here we've got that little foresty area of the safari habitat. I can't wait to visit the zoo this week or next week, because right now all the trees have grown their leaves back, so I can actually get a better view of what everything is supposed to look like. Yeah. And let's continue on. So yeah, we've got the kind of the biggest of the safari fields really, with the wildebeest, Kemsbok and zebra. Normally there's also, I think they're called ellipse waterbucks. I can quickly check that. Oh, it's not showing me. Well, that's a shame. Yeah, there's waterbucks usually here. And this area also just needs a lot of foliage. It's such a huge habitat, it's very daunting. So I kind of left it every now. But we'll get to it. I'm slowly expanding this forest. I've done a lot of off-camera work on that. By the way, these bridges, the railings, I've also done off-camera. Finally got those in. But yeah. And we've got these little concrete brick things for the overpasses. Rebuild those. And now we're going to get into the more foresty area. So down the hill we go. And over here we have the Woodland aviary, which is... I've put these signs up everywhere there's something kind of work in progress. This is the Woodland aviary, which has a couple of birds and dik-diks. So I put in these pronghorn to act as dik-diks. I hope we ever get a cheat that allows us to make animals younger, or like control whether they are albino or not, because that would give me a lot more freedom in faking animals, because I would love these to be baby pronghorn, because they'd be much smaller like actual dik-diks are. But yeah, going around the bend over here, got these little benches. The bins are still missing, but I mean this entire area isn't done. You can see a clear, distinct lack of trees. So let's get over here, and the first view we get apparently is this. Also one of the more earlier things I did, not entirely happy with this anymore, but I don't know if it's worth changing. I am gonna recolor some of this wood. That's actually something I've been doing off camera as well. Recoloring a bunch of these planks, which gives a lot more detail to these wooden structures. You'll see that in a bit. But yeah, we've got the hyena habitat. In the distance you can see that little shelter. We did that very recently in the Finish What You Started episode. And in the back there you can actually see they've got like a separate fenced off area, which I think is where where the hyenas go to when they're being fed, or when the keepers just want to be able to enter the habitat without, being eaten. Like this guy's fearless, but in real life the zookeepers are less so. Oh yeah, we've got another panorama shot. Yeah, oh that works. Almost. Thank you, Google Photos, for loading half of the photo. You know, just never mind. You can get a pretty good impression. Like, you got all the little elevation and kind of this moat at the bottom. And then we've got the wild dogs viewing area, also very recently done. And from in here, the African wild dogs. Favorite animal of my sister's boyfriend. And on the inside here we actually do have this little glass viewing thing for the little kids, so they don't need to peek over the viewing area. And yeah, there you see kind of the open plains and foresty area in the back. So moving on, let's go over here. We've got a little adventure trail which people are using to view into the cheetah habitat, and we've got the viewing area of the cheetahs. And that is cool stuff. This is again the little adventure trail. Over here we've got another window to view into the wild dogs habitat. The guests hate this habitat because they can never get a good view because of how large it is, but animals are happy with it. That's more important, right? And I think the next picture is something like this. Yeah, so you've got this little bench and then the viewing area over there. Got the cheetah habitats around this area. Oh, wait, I meant to go to the next picture. Better look at the viewing area. You can see that. And you've got a really cool view. Oh, there's one of the cheetahs. Yeah, we got these little protective coatings around the trees. How did you make the stripes on the monkey house? After we do the tour, if there's enough time left, I'll go in into some of the buildings and kind of pull them apart for you if you want. So yeah, we've got that view. So we've got those little black things around the trees. Stuff in the distance, and oh look! This was when they're still little. Oh my god, they're gonna be so much grown up now that I haven't seen them in months due to the lockdown. That's gonna be sad. Yeah, so shelter in the back. Over there is a little passageway into the other side of the habitat. And yeah, let's move along. Over here we have the Africa village. So we've got another viewing shelter, very similar to the other one, except this one has a bit of concrete at the bottom. We've got this little signpost, and this one's very overgrown, but you've got a similar view. And there's the cheetah. Oh, he's followed us. Really cool. How long are you planning to stream? This is going to take a while. Like, I mean, think about it. This is pretty much a 1-to-1 skill recreation. I mean, it's 1 to 1.5. But normally a visit to the zoo takes like a full, like you can spend the whole day here. And well, I've only built about, I think, a third of the zoo, so we're not going to spend an entire day here, but it'll probably take a while to get through everything. But I've got all night, so yeah, let's get going. Oh, I really love this. Really happy that I finally took the time recently to finish these habitats, because they are some of the oldest builds, but some of the recent finishers, so to say. So let's, yeah, one more view into here. You can get another look at the baby cheetah. They're so fluffy. Not anymore, probably. Oh, okay. Not so much reference photos, but more just cute cheetah pics. But I mean that should make people happy as well, right? So yeah, over here we got the entrance into the Africa village. Got all those benches and trees, and you can see the playground over there. Only thing really missing here is this thing, which I'm not sure I'm going to build. It's not going to be possible to make it functional. That's why I'm debating. I might make it and just make it not functional. I keep switching screens too early. There we go. So yeah, we got the playground. Let's kind of get that shot. So we got several of these playground items. This was a very recent episode, right? Really happy with how this one turned out. Like with the, I really managed to get the various elements right, like the rope bridge, plank bridge, and especially this thick rope, thanks to the South America pack, looks really cool. And these are on the workshop if you're interested, so they're really cool. But yeah, we could already see from the picture, you've got like a little view into this backstage area over here. If I just zoom back out, you've got the Rhino stall, you've got this little tank over there. Yeah, you can view the gate of the Rhino stall here, as well as this other stall, which you can kind of see over here. Is that a shed or a store or something? It's a store where you can buy fritellos. I'm not sure what they're called in English, if anything at all. It's basically like a potato that they've spiraled on a stick and then they fry it and season it. So it's like French fries on a stick almost. They're pretty good if they're cooked well. Sometimes they're very soft though, and then they're kind of mediocre. But speaking of backstage areas, I have made this little backstage area off camera. So we've got this view over the fence. Just a bunch of dumpsters really. Nothing much to see here. But it adds to the kind of realism of the park. Oh, the chip twisters. Okay. Have a nice stream. I have to leave. Keep up the good work. I keep on following your progress. Nice evening. Yeah, have a very nice evening, Jeroen. Thanks for dropping by. And the stream will be on the channel, so if you're interested, you can always watch it back. So yeah, we've got the goat habitat, which I'm still pretty happy with. You could always sink a store in the ground. Well, the problem isn't so much the height; it's mostly the width, because the store really is only like 2 meters wide. So it would stick out the back. If you're making a warthog habitat, I believe it's not any more of the zoo, but I like it. Yeah, the warthog. I mean, the warthog is the. No, the warthogs are behind the elephant house. So let's pan around because we've got this little view area. Let's see. If you're suggesting, I'd use a chain link fence to make the cage. Ooh, good idea. That is actually a lot better. Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah, vending machines if we ever get them. I hope so. I'll write down use fence for cage closet. Yeah, over here we have this little seating area with the double roofs, and I think I still need to add some detail to the roof, but it is pretty crowded already. We've got all these bamboo things and kind of vines and baskets. That's actually pretty good. The only thing that's missing is the lamps, but it's pretty sweet. I've got this little view over here, and the back. And ever since I put in, oh well, I'll be darned. I was gonna say ever since I put in these tables, nobody ever walks here, but there we go. But she didn't really clip the bar that much, which is a surprise. I suppose people do walk here. Okay, and she's clipping the bar. Ignore that. I could not make them not walk on there. So yeah, over here we have the Rhino stall. Yeah, this part is probably my favorite as well. There's so much detail here. Yeah, the Rhino stall is also very nice. It's very simplistic, but really cool. So let's get this panorama shot loaded. Well, I show you this ramp, which was hell to do with the pathing tool, but it's here. And here's another bunch of off-camera work. I've done these kind of sectioned off areas off camera with all these poles that kind of keep the rhinos out. You got those gates, which are, well, would technically just be large enough for a rhino to fit through, but of course in the game they can't. And yeah, you got the rhino stall itself. This area needs a bit more work on the viewing area, and just how does the zoo look at night? Not so great. There's a lot of signs that emit light that I've used in walls and stuff to just give lettering. And I haven't really placed down many lamps at all, so that's something to work on in the future as well. I'll do like a night pass. But yeah, this is an area I'll work on probably pretty soon. When I do the pelican habitat, I'll just kind of take this area along as well and kind of finish off this habitat that way. But yeah, we've got the rhino stall, so let's head inside of there. This poor lad hasn't seen the light of days in years, ever since I stuck him in here. But this is a really cool area. And this area does actually have lights, so I'll quickly go to nighttime. But you can see the several holding pens for all the rhinos, and then this little tub. If you want to know more about Beekse stuff, there's a series called Er komt een aap bij de dokter. There's a monkey at the doctor. I have seen some episodes of that actually while I was looking for reference. So yeah, this is kind of all the holding pens, and then this little tub over here. And I'll quickly make it nighttime so you can see. This is one of the few areas where we do actually have lighting. And I recently redid the windows in the roof when we did the elephant habitat. Got more of that round shape in there now, which is pretty nice. But yeah, let's just stick to daytime. I mean, the zoo isn't open at night anyway, so it's not a whole lot of... It's not really my main... not really like a top priority to do the night stuff. So yeah, let's get out of the rhino stall and onto the actual village bit of the Africa village. So we've got this little building over here, which has these spears that are made out of some sticks and stuff. And these new toilets. And we've got the Africa village, which is very crowded for some reason. I don't know why there's so many people here. And of course over here we have You Have to Go as well. I was glad to be able to follow the tour. Looking forward to the stream. Can't wait to see more in the future. Yeah, thanks for dropping by. And yeah, thanks. Alright, so yeah, we've got of course all the murals of the Africa village, which took so much time, but they're so worth it. All the buildings. And alright, this is the back of that building. Swerve around. And yeah, there's a little path over here that people can sneak through. And we've got the village itself. I'll try to go a little bit faster because there's a lot to see, of course. So yeah, over here we have that little area, which is now finally has a nice view now that the elephant habitat is done. Yeah, you can see some of that. But let's get back to the cheetahs. And a fun fact about the cheetahs, as well as the white rhinos actually, is that the Beekse Bergen is actually the kind of head of the breeding program in Europe of the cheetahs and the white rhinos. So they make sure that all the zoos kind of exchange their species with each other. so that there's no inbreeding and we get the best babies. Yeah, here we can see that little path with the beehive we made, as well as this little thing, this little shack. So much detail to show. But another view into that backstage area. It's pretty concealed, but you can still see it through here. And yeah, we have, let's just get to this one. Over here you can see kind of that cheetah habitat, because there's a bit of a lake in there. And you can see the field of the springbok. And then we have, oh, I don't know why I opened that one, it's not really necessary. We've got the rhino field, which they share with Watushi cattle. But I used to have a mod for those, but I haven't updated it since the South America update came. So yeah, it's still a bit barren. I might want to, oh wait, I thought the stream went down, but it's just, it was nothing. Yeah, it's still a bit barren, but I have been adding all of the trees and stuff to it, which makes it a lot more alive. And now we get to kind of the biggest turning point of the zoo, which is the flamingo habitat. By the way, fun fact about the rhinos is that the Beekse Bergen actually helps in behavioral studies of animals, but also the development of new technologies. And one of the major things in that is that they're testing drones that should prevent poaching of rhinos. So that's really cool. But yeah, over here we have the flamingo habitat, which was, yeah, really a turning point for this project, because it's doing all of these ropes manually, because these are all, let's see, can I actually select that? Yeah, these are all 2-meter rope pieces, kind of freely strewn about. And that took hours. And this is really the point where I was like, okay, yeah, I am capable of putting this much time and effort into this stuff, and I'm going to. So, yeah. And of course here we have a view of the second primate house, and a view of the back area of the rhino stall and stuff from over here. And you've got this fence with all the foliage, and yeah, here's the inside of the flamingo habitat. We can take a quick peek. So yeah, I got those little feeders. They don't actually use those, but they look cool. And then I got this watery area. Hopefully we get it. Yeah, I mean, I hope so. Though it will mean that I have to redo most of these aviaries probably, because there's more of them. But yeah, we've got this little entrance of the viewing area. Pretty cool. Is it just me, or is this sign missing? Yeah, I don't have a sign here. What? That is sloppy. I thought I put those. This will only take a sec. I can quickly put down these signs without much hassle. There we go. Right, let's get to the primate house. And one cool thing, I think this picture is meant to show that, or this one. Hey, Zekin, welcome to the stream. Thank you very much for the compliments. Yeah, so over here we have that similar fence with these kind of poles keeping it together. What's kind of a shame, by the way, about this fence, this one's actually at an angle, but of course we can't do that, so we just have the straight fence here. But over here we have the outdoor habitats of the chimps and part of the baboons that aren't in the elephant habitat. And we've got this bridge, large ass bridge, and also this habitat over here, which I'm not a fan of making climbing structures, but it is very rewarding when they use it. Sadly, they hardly do. This is the rope that I was talking about. Like, I just happened to catch some monkeys climbing on this the other day and was able to record it. I doubt they'll ever do it again, because I mean, even if you think about it logically, there's no reason for them to use this thing. And I've tried to kind of make this area non-traversable, but they would just Superman jump across these things. Yeah, climbing structures on the workshop. I'll definitely do that. Let me write that down. Right. So, yeah, let's just compare those. So we got that net, the long rope, little shelter bit, and then more climbing stuff around. Really cool. And yeah, then down here is kind of the viewing area, and here's where they do the feeding shows of the chimpanzees. Oh yeah, and this bridge actually has these glass panels in it, which is kind of neat as well. You see them over here. You can't really view anything through them, so I don't know why they're there, but they're there. And then we have the second primate house. Pretty nice view from over here. A lot more simplistic on the stripes, but it's actually the same in real life. So I'm not sure. I don't think I'll actually redo any of these. Yeah, another view of the bridge, and we got this panorama shot of just the front area. So yeah, really nice. Really happy with this area. Like, this is one of the first areas. Are you planning a new zoo after this? Yeah, that's actually a question I'm getting asked more frequently. Shouldn't forget the drink. That's a question I get asked more frequently, and I would love to do another zoo. I've been thinking about doing Blighter, but there's actually a lot of people doing Blighter related stuff. My roommate's favorite zoo is the Ouwehans Zoo, because his favorite animal is bears, and they've got like the Berenbos, the bear forest. Let's actually show some stuff. Here's that little playground. But I don't know. I can imagine that I'm gonna be pretty worn out of doing recreation stuff after this. I've got some pretty cool ideas of my own zoo. I kind of want to do a zoo based on like games and movies that I enjoy. Oh, we've got some music interference here from the game. Yeah, it's gonna take forever to finish this. So by that time, it's really hard to tell if by the time I'll be interested in doing another one, or maybe doing my own thing, or maybe just doing if you have Photoshop, it has the right color for this zoo. Yeah, I have done that now and again, though it's hard because the pictures are lit very differently than the game, so it's hard to get the exact colors from that, but it does help. But yeah, it's gonna take forever to finish this. Like, possibly, I'd be happy if I finished it in like a year, maybe half a year to a year. That's my estimate. But so by the time I'll see, I might. Because I do enjoy this a lot, so I'll probably end up maybe not doing an entire zoo, but doing sections of a zoo or just habitats, stuff like that. But yeah, noisy gorillas. We've got a small aviary here. Got a panorama photo. Oh yeah, the inside. That's actually pretty cool. It's very wooden, and we've got this little. This little kiosk, I want to say, and yeah, wooden beams in the roof. It's actually a very different roof compared to the first primate house, which is pretty interesting. And yeah, we got the chimps and the gorillas. I've tried to make the climbing structures somewhat similar, but it's very difficult to do, and it's kind of a shame, because they hardly use them anyway, so it's not really worth it. Why are the gorillas so noisy? What is wrong? Are you broken? And it's 4 males as well, so it's just them grunting at each other, I think. But yeah. Yeah, this was one of the first areas that I really considered finished. It's nice that it's kind of a sectioned off area as well. Yeah, over here we've got these little toilets. Oh, that could be cool. Habitat requests. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, you can have a bunch of different materials and recolor them the same color and it will look different. It's really annoying. But, I mean, it's understandable because it's just kind of the detail of the texture. So yeah, over here we got a secretary bird habitat. I don't know where my secretary bird is. Oh, there he is. Hi there. Just a little flamingo. I would like to replace this with a baby flamingo so that he's white. But yeah, I'd have to turn off breeding and aging, so that's kind of the issue. If I turn that off, then I can't get any new babies, and I want a lot of them from different species. So, yeah. Over here you can see the viewing area of the vultures. So we got some female peafowl in here to act as vultures. And they've got a pretty nicely detailed habitat. I'm actually really happy with this one. And then over here, let's see if we can open up this panorama. They really need to pee, yeah. Alright, so yeah, we can see that viewing area as well as kind of all of this rock stuff and this viewing area for the meerkats. As well as this, well, okay. Of course, that's the one thing it won't load. I really don't know how Google Photos does this, but yeah, we've got this little keeper hut, though I couldn't actually get a keeper hut in here. It's more the access points for the 2 habitats. So they use those. And yeah, then we have the meerkats. This little sign. Of course, we got aardvark in here to kind of replace them, as close as I could think of. And let's get to the next picture. Yeah, so in the habitat, you can actually see that little bubble, which normally people would be able to go inside of here and kind of peek through this bubble into the habitat like this, which is a really cool view. Because you're really just with the animals. Thank you, BJ de Brouwer, for the compliments. Yeah, I really try my best to make it as faithful as possible. So yeah, got a bunch of the meerkat stuff. Here's a good look into the vultures. So let's pull those up again. Here we are. So yeah, we got this little skull over here, and then all of these different things. Of course, the peafowl can't sit on them, sadly. And yeah, over here you can see the skull. It's just a nice little detail. Oh, it's not letting me skip to the next photo. Guess I'll do it manually. Oh yeah, this is a cool pic. It's over here. No, actually, more over here. You can see all of the birch trees along the water. Oh, I don't know why it's not switching. Yeah, all the birch trees. Why? Something's interrupting my alt tabs, and it's really annoying. Okay, let's come back around because we're continuing our way. So normally you'd have the tiger habitats are going to be over here, as well as another hyena habitat and another lion habitat. But of course this is all still a work in progress. We'll have a look at the reptile house later because I do have some stuff in there already, but yeah, we'll get there. Okay, so over here we've got the road ramping up again, eventually bridging over this gap. And we've got another view of the Primate House, so let's take that same route. Go over the bridge, and I think from around here, yeah, we can see the Primate House again. Really nice. I hope we get an African DLV with a white rhino, meerkat, porcupine, African leopard. Yeah, there's several animals in there that I would like for the zoo. Yeah. Did you know that those waterways have been dug to use? I read something about that. I wasn't sure which waterways they meant by that exactly, though, because a lot. If we actually, yeah, we can. Let me actually pull up Google Maps for a moment. I have many monitors. I have 4 monitors, but I also am keeping track of the stream. I have a cheat sheet for my fun facts about the zoo. And I just want to Alt-Tab to just instantly switch between the game and the pictures on the same screen. But yeah, here we go. And now I should be able to find this in a matter of seconds, because that's what I have been. There we go. I always felt like, oh no, wrong lake. Damn it. I always felt like this is the thing that they dug out to get the sand, because from what I read, this thing was only dug out in 1997 when the zoo was already there, and they dug this out to get the boat safari going. But I could be mistaken. So let's close that off again. Yeah, let's move further along. We've got kind of these stock guards, which are actually functional, and they're on the workshop if anyone's interested. And they prevent the animals from going across, and I actually have it so that the cars go under. Oh, that is a fun fact. Thank you. So apparently the vulture habitat was updated last year with some leftover building materials from the safari resort, and they gave it a more drier, deserty look. That's cool. So yeah, this is what's going to be the giraffe habitat, and that's cool stuff. What's fun fact about the giraffes? Well, while we're on the topic of fun facts, because I've looked up a few. Because the zoo was built in let's see, I can't come up with a word. The zoo was built together with. Okay, Peter. Yeah, I'll get some stuff going. Yeah, the zoo was made in cooperation with an Englishman. His name was, I wrote it down, Jimmy Chipperfield. And because of this, the first 20 years inside the zoo, people would drive on the left side of the road, which is really, really funny to me. But also, the first giraffes were transported from England in a kind of remodeled English double-decker bus, which is pretty cool. Your dad helped build the crocodile house. That's really cool. That's really cool. Kind of reminds me of how my grandfather always used to say that he was on university because he was literally on top of the roof when he built it. Alright, yeah, so this area is kind of a work in progress. When we get to the giraffes, we'll get to kind of filling in all this stuff. But now we get to kind of the most recent episode, which was the finishing up of the elephant habitat. Of course, we got our little playground. I've updated a little bit. I've made these wooden brace beams to make them a bit more slim. It looks a bit better. And let's go across over here. We get that shot. So yeah, we'll get to this side when we get to the giraffe habitat. Until then, we'll just work with what we have. So yeah, over here we've got this little nice little stone area and the viewing area of the giraffes. And we can go around. There's actually some baboons out here, which is cool. It's like in real life. Sadly, they don't sit on the rocks as much as they do in real life. You can see in this picture, it's hard to make out, but there's tons of baboons sitting on the rocks. They really like to be there. Alright, here's a better picture. You can more easily make out all the baboons. And yeah, what you might also be able to tell is all of these color variations. This is what I did like right before the stream. I've been spending like half an hour recoloring 2,000. Well, I didn't recolor all 2,000 of them, but yeah, I've been just randomly selecting some and recoloring them because it looks so much better, so much more detail. So that's what I'm going to be doing throughout the zoo, off camera. Yeah, here we have the viewing area of the elephants and the playground. If you've been watching my videos, then you should recognize these. Haven't really done anything here. I mean, I've added these trash cans. Those are new. And yeah, the inside, of course. Nothing different there as well. Got this nice, beautiful creatures. Elephants. Like, I forgot how cool they were until I built the elephant stall. Because that's actually the first time I... Maybe I should place feeding stages on the rocks. I could try that. I don't know if the keepers will be able to reach them. I put a grab ball up there, and they actually do go up there to grab it. Oh, Kaizo, you have to go. Thank you for coming along. Was a lot of fun. I'll see you. Maybe I'll see you again. Right. Yeah. So if we go to the back. Got more of this stuff, got this little birdhouse and all of these staff entrances. Got these toilets over here and more backstage entrances. And over here is going to be the Red River Hog, for which we'll use warthogs, or apparently there's a mod, so I might use that instead. And we can go further along the back. So when we get to that, we'll get to finishing off like all the foliage that's missing here. I actually was missing some pictures of this because I didn't actually know how this fence was going. So I'll make those pictures next time I'm there. But over here we've got this kind of gate. Still have to actually make it look like a gate. And then over here is going to be the viewing area, or it's already there. And we've got Calimero, which is the biggest elephant in Europe. He is 3.4 meters tall and weighs over 7,000 kilos. And that's also a fun fact. Game is that the elephants at the Beekse Bergen are actually African forest elephants. So that seems... Oh, they're not... Okay, they used to complain about the amount of trees, but that doesn't make sense apparently, because these are supposed to be forest animals. Of course, the in-game one are the bush elephants. Oh, that... Ah, yeah, there is a difference in size between those. Yeah, there's Calimero. Alright, so we're almost... Okay, Haribo, you got to leave. Thank you for coming. And, yeah, hopefully... And good luck with your zoo as well. It looks great. Keep it up. So yeah, we've got the habitat of Calimero. And then we get to this little playground where we've got people walking through the slide. and of course the how far can you jump thing. And this is actually where I did use Photoshop to kind of get this gradient right. So yeah, I do use that every now and then. And yeah, we've got more viewing areas into the elephants. We've got, yeah, that's what they are. And then over here we've got all of these adventure trails just kind of coming up along this path. Got the seating area, viewing area, and more adventure trails. This is that seating area. I could only fit one bench here, but it gets the point across. Yeah, over there you got that adventure trail. And from on top of that adventure trail, you can actually check out this area, kind of. And you can see those trash bins in the distance. This needs a bit more forest, but we'll get there. So yeah, we can actually see a birdhouse over there. I should get that on there. But yeah, just more viewing areas, all of those adventure trails, as faithful as possible. And then we're back at the Africa village with the aviaries that still need to be finished, but yeah, we came full circle. So let's get back to the entrance while going across. Let's speed that up a bit. Going across the land bridge again. And we've got the first bridge over here. Over here you can have a viewing into kind of the stalls that are going to be over there. Still work in progress. And you've got all these various viewing areas to check out. Yeah, this one is over here. No, wait. Over here, actually. Still need those signs in there. And then we get to the big tree with the benches around. There's actually benches in here, but people never really sit down, sadly. And then we get to the final thing, which is the Persian leopard. And of course we have jaguars in here. Sadly, we couldn't have this window without the chain link above it, so it's a bit obstructed the view. It's very weird to know that the calamero is the largest living creature walking the northern hemisphere of the world. It's just as big as an average T-Rex. Wow. Yeah, Peter, send me all the names you have, because I'd love to know that stuff. Oh, we have some jumpy boys. But yeah, they've got a bit of shelter in there. I don't think they can actually use it as shelter, but they can climb on it. Oh, wait. Yeah, it is climbable for them, but they probably don't have a purpose using it. Oh. But yeah, we've got the Persian leopard habitat all closed off, so they can't climb out. And then there's more of these adventure trails, which people occasionally walk on. Oh, it's very crowded here. And I think with that, we have reached the end. So there's one thing left to show, and that is the over here, the reptile house, which is a work in progress. I started on it, but I struggled with the pathing, and then I kind of gave up for a while. So I've got this little area for the hippos. Can I actually put water in there to show? Yeah. So that's the kind of hippo indoor area. And over here is an area for the null crocodile. So, yeah, I can also have some water. Which looks like this. And I got that little waterfall. A very, very janky waterfall. Which I quite like. I do have hay. I think the problem with the shelter isn't so much the fact that there is hay in there. but it's too small. The reptile house is quite small, but gharials do move around in it a little. Yeah, this one definitely suffers a lot for the fact that we're working at a 1 to 1.5 scale. Just because the park is so big, it didn't fit into the map of Planet Zoo. So I scaled everything down a little. But yeah, that is that. So we are done with the pictures. I'm gonna have a little bit of a pee break, and after that's done, I'll save the zoo. Actually, I'll do that right away. And then we're gonna have some time picking apart some of the buildings. So you wanted to see the Primate house, Peter? If there's any other suggestions, feel free to put them in the chat, and I'll show you how some of the things I built are built. So yeah, I'll just get a nice area like this. So I'll be right back, and then we'll continue on. Right, I'm back. I'm actually gonna quickly close my curtains, because otherwise I'm gonna have a ton of bugs inside. And we'll look at the stripes of the first Primate house, because the second one's a lot more simplistic. The first one's really the complex one. So I can actually select the stripes, I think. Oh no, I grouped them? Oh, I thought I didn't. But you can see the stripes are made up of... So the entire building is actually made up out of plaster wall panels, which isn't wholly accurate, but it's just the best looking material for this kind of stuff. Especially the second Primate house, I think, is made out of painted brick, but you just couldn't get these kind of stripy textures on there. And looking good. So, but yeah, they're made out of all these plaster panels. I could swear there was, yeah, this one's separate. So is this one. Okay, well, I'll pick apart this one then. Oh, that's cool. Erik van Vliet is designing a master plan for the Beekse Bergen for the next couple of years. Well, I hope he doesn't change too much, because I'm going to be tempted to change things along with him. At that rate, I'll never be done. But that's, I mean, it would be fun. I was also interested maybe to do my own kind of changes to the zoo when we're done with it. Kind of like one of the big changes, especially to make it better as a Planet Zoo, is for the second Primate house to house different primates than the first Primate house. Because right now people just ignore the second Primate house altogether, because they're like, oh, I already saw the gorillas and the chimpanzees at the entrance. Why would I look at them again? Over there. So putting like orangutans and bonobos in there would solve that. But yeah, let's take out all the plaster pieces. So you can see, and right now it looks a whole lot worse. But what you should be able to tell is all of these plaster pieces are at an angle. So when you move them around, you kind of have a little bit more control over how thick they are. So by moving it ever so slightly, you can go from a very thin piece to a much thicker one, even very thick. And yeah, you do that by rotating it slightly and then pushing it in and out of the wall. Just before closing, I saw building markers near the Primate house on the entrance on the left side. Really? I didn't. All I saw was that the Primate house was closed due to Corona. And I was there the day before the zoo closed. Yeah, so that's actually how I did those markings, and that's also how I did most of the murals in the Africa village. A lot of these are just like clever use of the shapes. But for example, all these triangles are just squares that are slightly rotated and then pushed ever so slightly into the wall to become a triangle, like that. So yeah, I don't know if there's anything else. Don't work too hard on that place. Also, one of the snack houses got burned from... Really? I didn't know that. I do know about the arson that took place, I think over here, right? This little cheetah paddock got lit on fire. Okay, goodbye Zekin. Thanks for dropping by. I think we're gonna round up soon anyway. Yes, recently there was arson at the zoo, and I think this paddock got lit on fire, as well as some of the stables here. And a couple animals actually died, which is very, very unfortunate. Like, screw whoever did that, obviously. Yeah. I could never understand what's going through the head of a person that does something like that. But, well. So, anything else interesting that I could show? I'm not entirely sure. Like the trick of putting stuff into the wall. I've also used that over here, which is a pretty nice application of it as well. Where I have this little plaster piece. Maybe you can check out my recent elephant paddock on Steam. I want to know if it works. Sure, I can check it out in a bit. But yeah, over here we have a plaster piece that's also kind of rotated slightly. And because of that, you've got this, this slant. So over here it's brick and over here it's plaster, which is very nice. It's the same trick. So yeah, other than that, I guess looking at how things are built would mostly be done in the videos anyway. I'm not sure if that part of the stream was that good an idea to begin with. I'm gonna see if I still have anything else I want to talk about. Let me scroll up. So yeah, there's two more questions that I get asked every now and again that I would like to talk about. The first one is, why did you choose this zoo in the first place? because of course there's tons of zoos. And the answer, though, the answer is actually not that I'm like the world's biggest Beekse Bergen fan. I may have become it in the making of this park, but the main reason I started working on this zoo the main reason I started working on the zoo is because it's simply the first zoo that I visited since the launch of the game. And the reason I visited this zoo, the reason why it is the first zoo I visited, is because they had 3 red panda cubs, and red pandas are my favorite animal. So that's why I went here. And another question that I have been asked every now and then is, will the park be shared on the workshop? So as I've said, if you want anything on the workshop, Peter has made many requests that I'll be looking into. Then feel free to ask, and I'll try to blueprint some stuff for you. But in the end, yes, the entire park will be on the workshop. I'm actually considering putting this in its current state, putting it on the workshop, so you have something to look at already, and you can kind of take out what there is already. So if you would like that, I could do that as well. I don't really see any downsides to that. But yeah, there's always a link in the description of my videos to my workshop page, so you can find a bunch of things on there already, like the stock guard, a bunch of different playground elements, and yeah, soon there will be some other stuff on there, because there has been some requests during the stream. And by the way, I can probably show you as well. The example I was giving earlier, I have been trying at some point to make the flamingo habitat blueprintable, but the problem is mainly in the fence, because the fence is around it. If you place it down, it really screws with the habitat. So you've got most of the things in here, but first of all, the pathing is really hard to get back into place. So yeah, I think that was the main issue I had with it, as well as the water, to get the water level right. So that's why a lot of the habitats are kind of difficult to blueprint. People did request I put the ropes on, but the ropes are in such a specific shape, I doubt anyone will get much use out of them. So I don't know. That's kind of why. I can't always blueprint the habitats, but I'll try. So I think that is everything. I'm gonna quickly check my cheat sheet. Yeah, no, I think that's all. So I want to thank everyone who joined the stream throughout for joining. Like a lot of people have already gone, but that's completely fine. It was a good time. My voice is completely wrecked, so it's probably a good time to sign off anyway. And I will look at your before we sign off. I'll look at your elephant habitat, Peter. It's the least I can do. Ooh, that's nice. But yeah, let's look at Peter. Is your I can maybe look for, like, what is it called, or could you send me a link, then I can easily. Keep up the good work. Yeah, I will. I am pretty much more motivated than ever. Like, especially recently. Like the week leading up to the stream, I've done a lot of just in-between stuff that I had been postponing forever, like procrastinating. But I actually really enjoyed kind of filling in the gaps. I'm really seeing many areas come to fruition. So it's called Elephant Paddock 1. Elephant paddock 1. It's quite a big delay. Yeah, there it is. Okay. Oh, I think I saw some screenshots of it. Let's look. Is it in here already? Usually is. There it is. Based on the Emmen Zoo. I'm just gonna plop it right there. Yeah. There it is. Alright. So, do the elephants fit through this? I doubt it, right? Maybe I should have linked this up to a better area. But let's just quickly try this out. Only really need a keeper hut and a trade center anyway. There we go. Let's see. I can do it. No. It fits. Well, I mean, if you do the, yeah, this thing is it breaks. But if you put the null barrier like around it a bit more, then it should include everything. And it shouldn't be an issue. Are they putting them in? Yeah, okay, they're putting them in. You sure that fits? Like, it seems so tight. For me, they don't fit through. I think they need a lot more space, because I know that even a hippo doesn't fit through these. Oh, for the Asian one. Right. Oh yeah, they might be a bit smaller. Yeah, I'm in I'm in African vibes due to the Beekse Bergen. I can throw in an Indian elephant. Let's see. There we go. I've actually never put down an Indian elephant before. Believe it or not. Yeah, you go back. Don't need you. But yeah, Indian elephants are a bit smaller, so that would make sense. There we go. They still don't go through though. Maybe you had a baby, because the baby should be able to move through, but I'm not sure about these. You can manually put them outside. That's what I do, because they don't fit through my doors either. But in general, what I would say for the habitat, it looks great, but especially with these, try to rotate the rocks a bit more, and maybe try to use some bigger, maybe not necessarily bigger rocks, but like try to get some more variation by rotating them a bit more, and using a couple of different ones. Because then you get more like what I have over here, like a bit more variation, and it looks less like a repeating pattern and more like a rock face. Alright, well then, with that, we're gonna be signing off. Thank you all for dropping by. It was a lot of fun. I might do streams more often, every now and then. doing off-camera work or things like that. We'll see. But yeah, we'll see. Basically. So I'm really bad at ending off stuff, so I'm just gonna say goodbye. Thanks for watching once again, and by the way, if I have many Beekse Bergen videos on my channel, I'm afraid not many overview videos. I can look at them. Maybe they will be helpful. If not, to spark some inspiration. Well, we'll see. Thank you. Alright. Yeah, thank you all for dropping by once again, and I'll see you soon, hopefully.